Savoring cada palabra como si fuera un bocado de un festín prohibido. The central point of his story was inevitably the final fate of little Grace Budd. When the doors of the interrogation room closed, isolating Albert Fish from the rest of the world, the atmosphere within those four walls changed drastically. What followed was not a standard police interrogation, where the truth is extracted with difficulty and resistance. It was instead a macabre monologue, a lecture on horror delivered by an old man who spoke of death and desecration with the same tranquility with which others speak of the weather or cooking recipes. The detectives present, seasoned men who had seen corpses in all their forms on the violent streets of New York, were not prepared for the level of depravity that was about to be verbalized. Savoring cada palabra como si fuera un bocado de un festín prohibido. The central point of his story was inevitably the final fate of little Grace Budd. He described how he left the girl playing outside, picking flowers, a picture of pastoral innocence that violently contrasted with his dark intentions. He recounted how he called her inside, shutting the door behind her and sealing her fate. The mechanics of the murder were described without emotion, strangulation. Fish explained that he did not want her to suffer too much at first, not out of pity, but because he needed the body to be in specific conditions for what would come next. He claimed that Grace died a virgin, a detail he insisted upon with a strange Puritan obsession, arguing that this was vital for his own moral and religious justification. But murder was only the prelude. What left the court reporters with trembling hands and the detectives with queasy stomachs was the detailed description of the dismemberment and consumption process. Fish confessed that after killing the girl, he proceeded to dismember the body with tools he had brought prepared. He did not do it with the rage of a frenzied madman, but with the precision of a methodical butcher. He separated the flesh from the bones, wrapped selected parts in newspaper, and returned to New York with Grace's remains in his suitcase. It is hard to imagine a more grotesque scene than this old man traveling on a commuter train, surrounded by oblivious passengers, carrying the remains of the girl he had just murdered. Once in the solitude of his rented room, he began the cannibalism ritual that would last 9 days. Fish described his culinary methods with chilling domestic prose. He spoke of how he cooked the meat with carrots, onions, and strips of bacon to enhance flavor. He detailed the stews and roasts he prepared, and how he sat down to the table each night to consume his sacrament. What disturbed investigators most was not just the act itself, but the satisfaction Fish expressed when recalling it. He said that the meat of the girl was sweet and tender, the best he had ever tasted. He claimed he felt no disgust but a profound communion. For his delirious mind, by consuming Grace, she became part of him forever, a twisted form of love and total possession that escaped any conventional psychiatric logic.